Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, 10 times test coverage, less drama, shift left functional and performance testing. My name is Sarah, and I'll be your technical moderator today. Before we get started, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items so you know how to participate in today's event. You have joined the presentation listening over your computer speaker system by default. If you would prefer to join over the telephone, just select telephone in the audio pane of your GoToWebinar control panel, and the dial-in information will be displayed there for you. You do have the opportunity to submit your text questions to today's presenters by typing your questions into the questions pane of the control panel. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect these and address them during a Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. If you have any technical difficulties, please type them into that same question section and I will respond to you one-on-one as soon as possible. Today's webinar is being recorded and you'll receive a follow-up email within 24 to 48 hours with a link to view the recording. All right, I would now like to turn things over to Dave Caro. Welcome, Dave. You now have the floor.
Thank you so much, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone joining the call. Appreciate you taking your time out. We're pretty excited about sort of sharing what we're seeing with people who are making this change and helping those who want to get started to kind of ease their path. Again, my name is Dave Caro. I'm a developer advocate. I'm on the product team here at BlazeMeter. And just a little brief bit about my background. I've been involved in performance monitoring and performance testing for over a decade. The earlier part of my career, I actually was focused on what you might call pre-deployment, outside-in, high-scale load testing. And that's people who would come to us and say, wow, I'm going live very soon and I don't know if I'm really ready. Can you please help me shake it out? That is the sort of most dramatic way to do performance testing or any kind of testing, is at the last minute. Lots of drama. And my career has really been about actually a shift left of my own, which is that I've moved more into development-centric testing and then even sort of pre-production, and then furthermore into how do we equip development teams themselves to do their own testing instead of depending on a separate resource to do the testing. So a little bit about my background. I've been at BlazeMeter for 2 years, and I came here because they got what it would take to help developers be successful. So we're going to have a couple of poll questions to start, and I just want to do a little bit of setup before we go there to define what I mean by shift left, because we're going to ask you about shift left both in the sort of functional testing environment and the performance testing environment. So shift left means starting testing earlier in the development cycle and writing those early tests in the same small team that's developing the code. So it means earlier, a shift left in the timeline, and also a shift left kind of in the development cycle so that you're actually doing the testing where the developing is being done. And if you think about it, if a test is being, or sort of a team is working together, a small team is working together, and they all know what they're trying to do in a sprint, why they're trying to do it, and how it's supposed to work, there's not much need for transfer of information or documentation or knowledge transfer to a separate testing unit. The people who are on that same team know best what they're building and have the best chances of testing the right stuff. So put another way, shifting left means not waiting for a handoff of those specifications to a separate group and then waiting until developers, and waiting to do that until developers think they're done. In the old world, we would develop, and when we said we were done developing, we'd hand it to QA, and they were a separate team on the other side of a wall. And there was a lag there and also a big gap in communication, right? So shift left, the goal here is to eliminate surprises, because when you find fundamental problems late in the process, it's lots of drama. It's what people are used to at the end of a project, which is sort of this, oh, wow, I better call home and say I'm not coming home for dinner, and by the way, we better cancel our plans for the weekend because we have to ship next week and we got a lot of stuff piling up, so a lot of drama, right? And in the DevOps handbook, they sum up a lot of the principles by saying it's being able to deliver business intent quickly without heroics, right? So, and finally, the last point I'll make here, it kind of comes from a few different angles, but shift left reinforces the definition of done, is that when a story has been delivered as something that's properly functioning and performing to expectations. It's not done when you think you've finished writing it or coding it. It's done when you've proven that it does what it's supposed to do. right? Okay, so on that note, let's shift to the poll questions now, and we're going to ask you again first about functional testing in your environment, whether that's shifting left, and then we'll ask about performance testing. Let's bring the polls up. And we'll give you maybe 10 or 15 seconds to kind of grok this and vote. All right, wrap it up. So we're gonna, okay, let's see what we got. So over a quarter of you aren't even being asked to shift left yet, which is interesting. That's fine. Third of you are considering it. Only 3% have a hard deadline, and 37% of you have made a decision to make it happen. Okay, that's a good mix. So more than half of you are, and that's probably why you're here, right? More than half of you are looking to do this. Now let's ask a trickier question here. Let's ask that same question about performance testing.